OBS bugging here. Oh wait, I am live. Okay. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My apologies. OBS was bugging out. My apologies. I wasn't sure if I was live or not. So yeah. Hello. Sorry, I was trying to figure out OBS. I didn't realize I was live yet. Done. Let me open up all my tabs here. I was like, why is OBS fighting with me? But it wasn't OBS. YouTube was lagging behind. YouTube does that a lot, actually. YouTube does that a lot. Anyhow. Hello, welcome to my channel. Big up to the Silt already in here. And also to him. Hello, how are you? Hit the likes, yes sir. Hit the likes, subscribe if you haven't already, because it helps out a ton. It really does. Just liking a stream, by the way, because I see a lot of people who watch a stream and they don't like it. Genuinely, if you like a stream, every like pushes the stream more into the algorithm, which means someone else will see it, click on it, like it potentially, and push it further, which means more and more viewers. Liking a stream is the most you can help on a channel. Genuinely. I think people need to understand this, yeah? The most you can help a content creator is by just liking the stream. That is the best way you can help them. Anyhow, Cesk to win a title with City while Arsenal finished second. Brilliant. Can you imagine, bro? Can you imagine? They already call him a snake for going to Chelsea. Actually, they're very weird about that, aren't they? Well, this guy is a snake, this guy isn't. Like, Nisoroy, he was... sorry, not Nisoroy. Or, yes, it was Nisoroy. But, like, they're very weird about that. Like, this guy's a snake for this, but this guy does the same thing, but he's not a snake. Weird fan base. That'll be brilliant, though. Maybe they can 5-peat second place, then. The schedule is after the new season of Club Brugge. I'll check that out in a minute. Cat gets to Liverpool is confirmed. GG's. I don't believe we will win the league title, and I'm not very bothered to. I think in the Champions League, you don't need to be the best team. You just need to show up in the moment, and you need to have a bit of shithousery about yourself. And I think that's what Man City has going into next season. So I'm not too concerned, really. I'm not too concerned about what Liverpool does or anything like that. Big up to those as well. Hello, how are you? And with that, let's actually get started. Because I've got 1,000,001 tabs open right now for stuff I want to talk about. Mainly, Cesc Fabregas. But it's not just Cesc Fabregas yet. Let me just skip ahead a bit. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So I'll come back to this. We are already kind of building a future here. Like, we're going after academy products from different teams. And it reminds me something of what Alex Ferguson did with players like Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes. Players from other academies he brought into the Man United academy to develop them. I'll get back to that in a minute. Let me for now focus a bit more on Cesc Fabregas himself. So, Man City see Fabregas as a potential successor to Guardiola. I do believe that this will be Pep's last season. If Pep Guardiola wins the league title, he's gonna say, I did it, boys, look at that. I've never gone 2 years without a league title. He'll applaud himself, clap himself on the back, and he'll leave. If he wins the Champions League, but not the league title, he'll say, look at that, another Champions League. Hold that, Chelsea. Now we've got 2 as well. And he'll leave with that. Like, if he doesn't win anything, Pep might say, okay, I rebuilt the team, now you're ready to go win something, I've done my job, you'll leave. Whatever the case, yeah, I think Pep Guardiola will leave at the end of the year. I know he has until 27, but I don't think he'll stay until 27. Unless we win the treble or something, but we won't. Let's just be frank, we won't, we're not ready for that. So, the next manager that we have to bring in has to be a manager in 2026. Which I think excludes Tuchel, because Tuchel only becomes available in 2027. Correct me if I'm mistaken. It's 2027 or after the World Cup, I'm not quite sure. It's a bit weird that, but yeah, in 2026 is when we need to get a new manager, I believe. So, Fabregas is a manager who will be available in 2026, and Oliver here, my biggest glazer, sent me. He actually sent me this in DM. Big up to Oliver. He sent this DM to me. I would have not seen this news if Oliver didn't DM it to me. Nobody is talking about it for some reason. If they sign Isak, they won't. It's way too expensive. Like 120 million, 140 million they're asking after they spent 150 on words. When they can get Gyökeres for 60, they won't. What breaking news of Man City? Well, we're getting into that. I'm good as well, thank you for asking. On the 12th of July is a fan day at Club Brugge, yes sir. That's every year, somewhere in July, a fan day. They will be sold for profit in 1 or 2 years. We'll get to that, Oh, that, yikes. I want to smack them lot. They fucked us up last season. Anyhow. So with Fabregas, this guy has had a very good season at Como, his first year. And not only Man City is looking at him. Because if you go through it, that's the wrong thing. If you go through it, so if you can't read French, basically, this says that Inter Milan wants to have Fabregas. And they even agreed terms with Fabregas. Cesc Fabregas said yes to Inter Milan. But Como has blocked the move. Como has said, no, you will not get Fabregas because we need this guy. So getting Fabregas out of Como may be difficult because Como does not want to let him go. Again, agreed terms with Inter Milan. Como said no, not happening. So this guy, we need to get him out of Como. And I think Man City has a better chance at doing that than Inter Milan. First of all, Inter Milan is completely rebuilding, spending money on, well, a rebuild, new players. By next year, so 2026, when we would be trying to get Fabregas, this project of Como will have developed by a year, and Man City will have plenty of money to spend on a manager. The only position where we will be short is potentially a right back, depending on this summer, and a goalkeeper. So that's 2 positions where we don't tend to spend that much money. Whereas Inter, they'll still be a bit short by 2026. Especially striker when Lautaro Martinez and Thuram start to decrease. So I think if we're fighting against Inter Milan for this guy, we win. But that does mean I think we get him. Because Barcelona may also get him when Hansi Flick leaves. Barcelona has an eye on him. A lot of big clubs have an eye on him. And I like that. Because if this is like Man City wants Fabregas, but nobody else, then it's like, why? Why does no one else want this guy? But a lot of clubs are following Fabregas now as a manager. And let's talk about Fabregas himself. I mean, he's a proven winner. He is a proven winner. Nobody can argue that. World Cup winner, nothing better. He won one FA Cup with Arsenal. He's a Chelsea legend though. He won 2 league titles with them and a Europa League. So this guy is a proven winner. Mentality is there. He played together with Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta. These players in the golden generation of Spain that were very similar style of footballers to Pep. He played in, not in Pep's Barcelona, but he played in Barcelona right after Pep left. So he is familiar with Pep to some degree. Now I want to show you guys some other statistics. This is as manager of Como. As caretaker manager, when they were in 2nd division, so 2nd division, Serie B. This is not last season, but season before that. Como were in 2nd division. And Fabregas took them over for 5 games as the caretaker manager. Of those 5 games, he got 2 points per game. That's very good for a caretaker manager for the first time taking this team over. He helped this team get promoted. And after being promoted, he took this team to 10th as the manager. So that is big, isn't it? He lost 1 game, drew another, won 3 in 2nd division as caretaker manager. I mean, these are performances, isn't it? These are performances as a manager. It's not a lot, to be fair. It's a very small sample size. But I like the fact that he is able to work with few resources. He works with players like Perron. He's looking for players like from Man City's academy that play Pep's football. And I watched one game of this team. My god, the old lighting looked horrible, didn't it? And yeah, I watched a game of Como, so this is on the 10th of January, sorry. That's this 1-1. I will be honest, I was not too terribly wowed by Como watching this game. But I do think they were very solid. So I wasn't completely blown away by Fabregas' Como. But they were a very solid team. They were good defensively. But they weren't shy to go forward. Which I think was really important. Now, in this game in particular, I can't remember Perron doing anything. Was he even on the pitch? It seems like he wasn't. Yeah, I can't remember Perron doing anything in this game, and it seems like he wasn't on the pitch. I was gonna say, I was gonna comment on that, but it does seem like he wasn't on the pitch for whatever reason. But yeah, and that's, by the way, Lazio, a very strong team to play against, isn't it? That's a very strong team to play against, and they managed to get a draw away from home, so it shows a bit of fight in that team. They didn't lose that many games, actually. If you look at this year, they drew 10 games, and they won another 13. They only got 15 losses. 15 losses, that's a lot, but when you think about a team like Como, only just getting promoted, and you look at Parma, 16 losses, Lecce, 20 losses, Cagliari, 20 losses. That's way less than the teams you would expect Como to be competing with. So they're a very hard to beat team, and he has a bit more of the type of manager that we had before Pep Guardiola. With that, I mean a Mancini or a Pellegrini, who's not like Pep Guardiola. Well, he's like Pep Guardiola in the sense that he can attack very well, but he's not mainly an attacking manager. That's not what he is. He is a very balanced manager. Whereas with Pep Guardiola, you're going to have 60-70% possession. This guy, you're going to have a bit less possession, but you're going to be way more explosive when you go forward, and you're going to be very strong defensively. A lot like what we had before Pep Guardiola came in. So I like that, and I think that's the way to go forwards. I think that's just atmosphere of Man City, really. We can't let Pep Guardiola's nature of football take over Man City. Because when Pep leaves, nobody else can play that football. Nobody else can play that Pep football. Maybe Xavi Hernandez, but I don't rate Xavi Hernandez that highly. But he's the only one I can think of that could play that style of football. And I don't rate him that highly. So, Fabregas, it's a different style, but it's very similar to the Man City style before Pep. So I would welcome that style. Game 2 against Mechelen, and then the third game is the Bruges Derby. Today Benfica in Club World Cup, I imagine. Against Construction Workers FC. Who is that? Auckland? Yo, big up to Zeer. Big up to Zeer. What's good, Alf? Fabregas is a W move if you go for him. There you go, Zeer. He's the expert on managers. Big up to Zeer. I think he's a W as well, from what I've seen, which is limited. But from the limited amount I've seen, it looks like a W. Match day 1 on Friday, Antwerp Union. He's also young. He's also a young manager that wants to prove himself. He has a lot to prove. That hunger is important. Did Kuyt is sacked? I mean, we knew that was going to happen. Today I got a half day of school. Congratulations. Does he play entertaining football? I've not watched him enough to say. But the style is a lot more like Mancini than it is Pep Guardiola. So, I mean, it's very subjective, isn't it? Does he play entertaining football? I think Diego Simeone used to play entertaining football. A lot of people will tell me that he doesn't. That's very subjective. If you like Mancini's style, I think you'll like him. But he's very adaptable as a manager. He adapts to his players at Como. I think you put this guy in a Man City team, he's gonna adapt to what he has to work with in Man City. Or with Man City, should I say. If you get Fabregas, your good players can actually ball out. Not as restrictive as Pep Guardiola. He's restrictive is maybe the wrong word. He's not as regimented. It's a lot more free-flowing and stuff than Pep Guardiola's football may be. Yes, Auckland City. But yeah, you know what, yeah? You know what, yeah? I should say about that. This fan base is gonna have to get used to free-flowing football again. Because when Pep Guardiola leaves, a lot of people criticize Pep for playing too controlling and all of this. When he leaves, people need to get used to that free-flowing football. In that I mean having 50 to maximum 60% possession instead of 60 at least. Sometimes 70 to 80. I mean, we had like 85% possession against Everton in the Centurion season, which is ridiculous. So people are used to Man City always having the ball. Like 70% of games having the ball. With this guy, there's gonna be less control over the ball. We're gonna bomb up the pitch a lot more, and we're gonna control the game by defending. If you imagine, think back about Bayern München. No offense to Zeer, but this is just the best example I can think of. When Man City played Bayern München in the treble season at home, Bayern München had the majority of possession, but Man City controlled the game by moving Bayern München where they wanted Bayern to be, by making sure the ball wasn't where Bayern München could be dangerous. So we controlled the game defensively, rather than how Man City normally does, attacking-wise. People are gonna have to get used to that, I think, because that's how Fabregas will be. If we get Fabregas when Pep leaves, that's how Man City will be. We won't control the game through possession. We'll control the game through defending, and when we have the ball, we'll go forwards and try to score. Of course, that can change when he gets to Man City, having a better team. They allow him to play a bit more possessive than what he does at Como now. Florian Wirtz was spotted at Liverpool. I mean, he's completed the signing already, hasn't he? That's kind of that news, but yeah, the Florian Wirtz to Liverpool is done at this point. Sad days in it, but oh well. No point in crying over spilled milk. Anyhow, together with that news about Fabregas, let's talk a bit about transfers, because we're getting a lot of young players. And I alluded to this before in the stream. I said we're gonna get a lot of, I said that we're getting a lot of young players, and it reminded me of what Alex Ferguson did back when Man United was like weak. Alex Ferguson spent a lot of money on infrastructure. Like, with that I mean training facilities, buying youth players like Ryan Giggs, a Man City academy player. Paul Scholes, I believe he was in the... What academy was Paul Scholes in? One second, let me check this. I believe he was in Norwich, their academy. So a lot of these players, yeah, that came through the Man United's academy. Okay, Paul Scholes was Man United. It's Roy Keane, yeah, Roy Keane. That's the guy I'm thinking about. A lot of the players that people think came through Man United's academy are actually players that they bought young and then brought through. So yeah, you can see a lot of these players, yeah, they bought these players very young, then got them into the Man United first team. Such as, again, Ryan Giggs. Off topic, your thoughts on Botafogo shocked PSG. Yikes. But they're playing all their best players as well. Or maybe not all their best players, but a lot of them. Yikes. Yeah, that's just a yikes, isn't it? Botafogo, they play... They're 8. gonna lose to a team 8 in the Brazilian league. Yo. I mean, the points gap is not that big, to be fair, but yo, that 8. A third of the season ended 8. That's what PSG is losing to. That's like the equivalent of losing to the 8th team in, I don't know, Eredivisie. Who was 8 in Eredivisie last season? Let me check. Eredivisie. Table. NEC. Imagine losing to NEC Nijmegen. Nijmegen. That is the equivalent. Yikes. Yikes. I mean, it can happen, but these are like teams that are like maybe the upper echelon of the championship. I don't know, is that disrespectful? Would Botafogo survive a season in League 1? Would they survive? Would they be a mid-table team or would they get relegated? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think they might just barely survive. But anyhow, on to this. So, we're getting this Calum Moss guy, who I've never heard about. Calum Moss, under 15 midfielder. Dexter Oliver, I've talked to some Tottenham fans about Dexter Oliver. They tell me he's one of the younger players that plays in their under 18s or under 21s. A very young player. And he's very okay, they say, but not a standout. And then Aston Villa midfielder Freddie Lowry. I've also never heard about Freddie Lowry or heard any Aston Villa fans talk about him. So Dexter Oliver, I can say, he's a player who's of the younger crop right now and playing in the under 21s. These are usually the types of players when you get into under 21 quickly, when you skip under 18 and quickly go into under 21, that tends to mean you're ahead in development and you'll get somewhere, right? So getting these players, I don't mind. In fact, I like it. Because we are bringing in all the best players from academies around England to play in City Football Academy, get them used to our style, get them used to winning, and try to bring them through. So that within 4-5 years from now, because you need to realize, 4 or 5 years, when these players start to break through, like all of these are midfielders here, Dexter Oliver, in 4 or 5 years, will be 21 years old. This will be the point where Reinders will have to be replaced. Because Reinders is actually starting to get, is actually not that young. Already 26. So this is a player that you're going to start phasing in then. Same with Nipan, who we have bought, and a lot of others. Our current crop of midfielders in 4 or 5 years is going to be the same scenario as Foden breaking through in Man City's team that was made up of like Bernardo Silva, David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Yaya Toure at a point, like all these quality midfielders that Foden had to break through and get ahead of. So I think it's good to have some of our own talents just growing up in our academy, being club trained. This is mainly a thing for our UEFA club trained thing, right? And if these players are good enough, like listen, if they develop and they're good enough to be starting players, I mean, why not? And if they're not good enough, you sell them and they are pure profit on FFP. Or maybe not pure profit, but almost pure profit. So I don't mind. I like to see that the club has almost gotten every player I want. I still want a right back. But once you get that, we've got every player I want. I'm happy to see that the club is now building the future. Now that they're done with making what is our current squad. They also can't get a right back at the moment, because obviously Club World Cup is going on, players are playing pre-season and transfer window isn't open yet, so it's a bit different. So probably in July we'll sign a right back, I think. Maybe even the 1st of July. That will be a good one. What day is the 1st of July? Like, what day of the week? A Tuesday. We will be there Tuesday morning, 1st of July. A right back announced to Man City. Livramento, please. Just saying, please, Livramento. But yeah, we're bringing through all these young players. That's quality. That is quality. It's that simple. Anyhow, that's about all the topics I've prepared for today to talk about. So that will be it for me. Rather short stream, but nothing much to talk about other than laughing at PSG for losing to Botafogo. Nobody goes to Man City? Yes, sir. I'll take that. I'll take that. So, with that said, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Helps out a bunch. And let's see if there's anyone live that I can redirect to. Let's not end yet. Let's not end it yet. Let's open YouTube here. Anybody live stream? Martin is live. I guess we can redirect to him. There we go. Dun-dun-dun. Yeah, let me show you guys how a YouTube redirect is set up, by the way. You need 500 subscribers to do this. I don't know why. Very dumb. But anyhow, let's set this up. There we go. I'll copy the link. This stream. Beautiful. There you go. So, that will be it for me. Thank you guys for coming in here. Again, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Alfred in chat, and I'll see you guys on the next one.